Welcome to Just a Minute. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nicholas Parsons, and as the Minute Waltz fades away, once more it's my huge pleasure to welcome our many listeners in this country and around the world. And also to welcome to the programme four exciting, talented people who are going to display their knowledge and language and use of words as they try and speak on the subject that I give them. And they do that without hesitation, repetition, or deviation. And those four are seated on my right, Paul Merton, and with him someone who's only played the game once before, and that is McMillan, and seated on my left, Tony Hawks, and with him someone who's also only played the game once before, that is Shappi Khorsandi. Would you please welcome all four of them? Beside me sits Trudy Stevens, who's going to help me with the score and also blow the whistle when the 60 seconds have arrived. And this particular edition of Just a Minute is coming from the beautiful Opera House in the centre of that fine city of Manchester. And as you can hear, we have a vociferous, keen and animated Mancunian audience ready to enjoy themselves and cheer us on our way as we begin the show with Tony Hawks. Tony, a topical subject to start with, the War of the Roses. They're having to think about that for a moment. But when you talk on the subject, Tony, 60 seconds as usual, starting now.
I'm not sure how topical the 15th century is. However, I will...
Paul, challenge.
It was very topical in the 15th century. Extremely topical.
Yes, but I think by topical he means today, doesn't he?
I think he does.
Yes, he does. I don't think I can even give you the benefit of the doubt on that one, no. It's a nice challenge. If we got a bigger laugh, I might have given you a point. But... Tony, an incorrect challenge. And there are 55 seconds still available. The War of the Roses starting now.
Many hundreds of years ago, it wasn't like it is now. The people of Manchester and Leeds didn't all get together and love each other as they do today. Liverpudlians didn't pull on England shirts with the good burgers of Hull and cheer their team to an unsuccessful competition attempt to get into the finals as they did recently.
Paul challenge.
Well, it was a mercy killing, really. just rambling away.
And I know. Deviation from an English that we understand. So you have the benefit of the doubt on this occasion, Paul. And you have 33 seconds. Tell us something about the War of the Roses starting now.
I never did this at school.
Paul gets a bonus point because they enjoyed what he said, and there are 31 seconds available still. The War of the Roses, Tony, starting now.
Danny DeVito directed and starred in this film from the 80s, I believe. Not certain on that, but someone will probably pick me up on that if I'm wrong. Kathleen Turner?
Paul challenge.
Repetition of that.
That. Well, listen, Paul. The War of the Roses is back with you with 20... Does this help you if I was to say, last time I was sitting at Old Trafford watching Lancashire play Yorkshire at cricket,
yes,
and I applauded Hutton because he made a very nice thing, and they said, do you come from Yorkshire? And I said, no. And he said, do you come from Lancashire? And I said, no. He said, well, what the bloody hell's it got to do with you anyway? That is the modern War of the Roses.
Thank you.
Does it help you? 21 seconds, starting now.
Danny DeVito directed a film in the 1980s, War of the Roses, and it was a magnificent movie. He was at his best as a diminutive directorial force in the motion picture industry. If we look at his career, which culminated in that magnificent...
Yes, go on. Shappi, you challenged.
Yes, he deviated.
He deviated because it's the War of the Roses and we don't want to hear about Danny DeVito anymore.
No.
Right, so you have a correct challenge and you have 6 seconds on War of the Roses starting now.
The War of the Roses started when my neighbour's roses climbed into my garden, and I looked and I thought...
Ian challenged.
Repetition of my.
My, yes.
Neighbour and my garden.
Two my's.
Yeah, it's all my.
It's very difficult when you haven't played the game very often. Right, Ian, there's only 1 second left, which is maybe an advantage. War of the Roses starting now.
Submarines weren't used in the War of the Roses.
So, Ian McMillan was speaking as the whistle went, and whoever does that on this show gains an extra point. And he's now in second place alongside Tony Hawk's, one ahead of Shappi, and Paul's one ahead in the lead. Paul, your turn to start, and the subject a nice one, Pantomime Dames. We'll talk on that subject starting now.
There was quite a few famous pantomime dames came from this area. Les Dawson, Roy Barraclough, and people who might remember Norman Evans from the 40s and 50s were all fine exponents of this craft. I once had the great pleasure of appearing as an ugly sister with Ronnie Corbett in a pantomime for a rival network to the B one we're on now. And I realised that working with the diminutive Ron was a great treat for me. He was fantastic and showed me how you made the slot, which is the bucket of whitewash that you throw over each other in the wallpapering scene.
Yeah, Shappi, you challenged.
I think you're deviating.
Yes, he's talking about him and Ronnie Corbett.
Pantomime Dames.
No.
Your ugly sisters.
That's not a dame. It's the ugly sisters. The dame is the woman.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right, yes. It's a woman. Dame Trops. They have the ugly sisters, but they don't have a dame. The dame is all the ones that Les Dawson
funny
played.
sisters if he's Ronnie Corbett's sister.
Yeah, I think that might have been the joke, Ian.
Wasn't it, Joe? I see, that's what they call musical.
Yeah, that's why it died out.
I did.
Nobody ever got it.
No, I didn't get it.
No, he didn't get it.
So, Shappi, a correct challenge. He was deviating from Pantomime Dames. Will you tell us something about that subject? 29 seconds, starting now.
Sadly, the pantomime is a cultural phenomenon that I have missed out on. My parents never took me to see a pantomime, therefore I'm not entirely sure what
Ian challenge.
So there must be deviation if you don't know what it is. You can't talk about something if you don't know what it is.
In just a minute, you might get a subject thrown at you, even if you don't know much about it. You have to improvise. You have to go. This is what the show's about, actually, Ian.
Is it? Oh, I thought, yeah.
All right.
To be honest, I quite enjoyed the interruption
Yeah.
because I
I know.
really don't know what to say about Pantomime Dames.
Well, just ad-lib some rubbish, darling.
Okay.
Ad-lib some rubbish.
Well, I've heard it spoken by any number of the panelists on occasions.
I have lots to say about pantomime horses.
Darling, just try and connect it to a dame.
Just say what you say about horses, we just swap it down.
Right. 21 seconds. Pantomime Dames starting now.
Pantomime Dame is something I've never been asked to perform, and if I did, I would definitely want to play the back end. I'm thinking that in my time, I won't be asked to be a pantomime dame because my head isn't quite... Hello! Hello!
So what is your buzz when the rules are just a minute here, McMillan?
It was, there was hesitation, and also it was deviation, because you were talking about pantomime horses, not pantomime dames, because they're different things. Because a horse is made out of two people, and a dame's made out of one person who's actually a man dressed up.
But she doesn't know anything about it. She said so. Maybe in her fantasy world, maybe the pantomime dame does have some
You could play the back end of a pantomime dame.
Yeah.
You'd need to have words with your agent.
I think we have to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she can continue with a surreal Iranian image of pantomime dames. And there are 7 seconds starting now.
I'm going to direct my own pantomime where the dame comes riding in on a pantomime horse across the stage for all to see. She will be naked.
So, Shappi Khorsandi was again speaking as a whistle when getting an extra point, and she was saved by the whistle, actually, I think, because introducing nakedness at this time of the evening, and also midday on Sundays. Mind you, some late risers might still not got the clothes on. You're now in the lead again, my darling. And you're 2 ahead of Paul Merton, and you're quite a few ahead of Ian McMillan and Tony Hawk's. And Tony, it's your turn to begin. Charm offensive. What a good subject. 60 seconds starting now.
A charm offensive doesn't always work, especially if you're advancing on someone like, say, Genghis Khan. This would have little effect. What a charming spear you have. That wouldn't do much for you. You're chopping me up with great aplomb. He's still going to go ahead with the procedure, and you will probably pass away as a result. I wouldn't recommend it. However, creeping...
Paul challenge.
Slight hesitation there.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not.
I must have nodded off then. Did I nod off in the middle of
No, he does certainly put far more emphasis into however than any other word he's spoken up till then.
That's why it might fool my brain.
That's what made your brain, yes. And you have 35 seconds starting now.
Many people decide to make something of a charm offensive on our esteemed chairman Nicholas Parsons in order to win this game by complimenting him on, say, his tie or jacket or his general...
Paul challenge.
It's a couple of oars.
Yeah,
Yes, all.
Yes, I was sticking my oar in.
I know. 22 seconds, Paul, a correct challenge. Charm offensive is with you starting now.
When I look over at Mr. Nicholas Parsons, I can't help but fill myself full of wonder that I'm working with this man. What?
Tony challenge.
Did he say feel myself?
No.
I
I tribute to our wonderful chairman, his wonderful judgments.
Yeah, I would...
Excellent.
Let's see if it works.
I would love you to continue, actually, because I was enjoying it.
Yeah, so was I.
But unfortunately, I think Tony had a correct challenge. You were
it doesn't work.
tripping up over your words a bit. And so I think we do interpret that as hesitation, Tony. And so you take the subject back. 17 seconds, charm offensive starting now.
The Tet Offensive during the Vietnam War was totally without charm. I think most of us would agree on that. Whether I could...
Paul challenge.
Deviations, he's not talking about charm offensive, he makes something about the exact opposite. The exact opposite of a charm offensive.
Yes, right.
Deviation.
Right, yes. You don't need to get so animated to convince me.
Really?
Yes, absolutely right. And benefit of the doubt if not. And there are 8 seconds for you on charm offensive, Paul, starting now.
He controls this programme like a jaguar controls the movements of a rabbit.
Tony challenge.
2 controls.
Oh, yeah.
And it was...
Chairman.
Oh, it was so good, Tony. It was
But
lovely.
a jaguar eats a rabbit, doesn't he, if he catches it? So you're saying he eats this programme?
Yeah. After he's got it transfixed with his eyes.
I've never been compared to a jaguar before. I might drive one, but I don't... Oh, you can often see me in my jag, you know, sailing along. Oh, there's Nicholas out in his jag. Oh.
He's a chauffeur for Raymond Holmes.
Paul, you show me how generous I am, even when you make a joke at my expense. That was such a good laugh. A bonus points to Paul Merton for that. Tony, you had a correct challenge. You've got charm offensive still. 4 seconds starting now.
I shall make a charm offensive on this audience, who are quite magnificent in every way. Not once...
Actually, Tony, Shappi challenged a second and a half a second before the whistle went. What was it, Shappi?
I've kind of lost confidence now, but I felt like he was speaking in an accent that wasn't really his own. It kind of went a bit like this.
That's what you do if you're doing a charm offensive.
I think Shappi, within the rules of just a minute, he was keeping going under pressure.
That's
and,
what I thought. I was
yes.
just checking to see if you were on the ball.
Wherever you're concerned, I'm always on the ball, darling. Oh, dear. We've now introduced... But there's no reason why you shouldn't have a little sex in just a minute.
I can't speak.
Just up against the washing machine and that's it.
Are we allowed to use...
Oh, dear. No,
don't know whether-
Tony, oh my gosh, they've set me off. But let's give Paul a bonus point for what he said, because that's what corpsed me, and I think he deserves it. Tony, you were speaking as the whistle went.
Yes.
And so you get a point for that. Have you given it to him, Trudy? I've set the audience off, and now they're interpreting things in all kinds of wrong ways. Shappi, it's your turn to begin. And the subject is my birthday party. 60 seconds as usual, starting now.
I had a birthday party recently. It was my 30th. I only ever celebrate my audition age. I never have a party for my real age, because that's not...
Tony challenge.
repetition of age.
Yes, there was too much age, darling.
yes, that's what my point was. I'm too old.
So, Tony, a correct challenge, and you have my birthday party, 52 seconds starting now.
For my birthday party this year, I've hired the Manchester Opera House, and I shall fill it full of this audience, who are quite magnificent in every way. There are some people missing at the moment, because we're not full right at the top of this terrific auditorium.
Paul, challenge.
That's terrific. The deviation from how terrific is normally pronounced.
No, he was dragging it out a little, but not enough to be hesitation or deviation from English as we understand it. I have to interpret some way, yes. If we get, when they're trying to keep going like that and I jump on things like that and give it against them, it would be completely unfair. So, Tony, an incorrect challenge. You have 34 seconds. You still have my birthday party starting now.
I shall have individual cakes for every single person. Hang the cost! Little candles placed in the beautiful pastry. What's wrong?
Pastry.
Look, you're just jealous because you're not invited.
No, I think, Tony, you did drag that one out. That went out too long. So, Shappi, a correct challenge to you, and 24 seconds on my birthday party starting now.
It's difficult to have birthday parties when you are much older because all your friends have children and it's rude to tell them not to bring them with them and then they all come.
Ian, you challenge.
Two thems.
So, two thems. Well, listen, Ian.
And
you-
also, if all the friends got children, she's got children too.
Yes, but mine's a baby. It doesn't make too much
Babies
noise.
not children these days.
Yes, but it doesn't break things yet.
He's still a
Not even
child,
wind.
darling.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, Ian, correct challenge. 16 seconds. My birthday party starting now.
My last birthday.
Oh, that.
That was a hesitation.
That
wasn't
was a
it?
hesitation.
Even you noticed that, didn't you?
I never noticed it.
You didn't notice it.
No.
Did you notice it?
What happened then?
You must have fallen asleep.
I was asleep. Well, I'm 52. 52.
He's 52. He shouldn't be falling asleep.
No,
at his age,
sure
should he?
is.
No. Well, it's very hot here in the Opera House, isn't it? Right. 15 seconds, Paul, a correct challenge. My birthday party starting now.
I remember my...
Hesitation. You went like that. You went like you had asthma.
Even more so, you shouldn't pick on my disability.
No, Ian, that was an incorrect challenge. Paul,
But it was as long as my hesitation.
Oh, no, yours was a definite hesitation.
No, mine was definitely asthma.
No.
No.
You could have made a ham sandwich in your
No,
hesitation.
no.
You could have made a ham sandwich. You could have bought the bread, you could have gone down the shops, got the butter, and you put the ham, you could have made a ham sandwich.
Yeah, but you could have raised the pig and then killed it.
Right, have you two finished your little conversation over there together?
Yeah, go on.
They are sitting together, sparking each other off. 14 seconds. And I've forgotten now who challenged. It was, oh, I remember. You were very sharp, I'm afraid, on Paul. And so it was an incorrect challenge. Paul still has the subject, my birthday party, 14 seconds starting now.
All the local children were invited, and some of them came, and they bought presents with them. And they were fantastic gifts. I remember sitting there in our living room, opening up these packages, covered in the most gaily covered paper, sellotape.
Ian challenge.
Covered and covered. They were covered.
They were
in
too
gaily
covered.
Covered paper.
Oh, yes.
And covered in a gaily
Yes.
covered paper.
Was it the sparks that put you off? You couldn't see for the smoke.
I couldn't see through the smoke.
No.
I have a follow-up question.
Oh, yes.
I have a follow-up question. I mean, all the children were invited, and only some of them came. Was this a huge disappointment to
It
you?
was very disappointing, but I've managed to turn it into a subject of comedy.
Back to just a minute. My birthday party, Ian. Oh, and you got in.
Oh, that's my stage name. My stage name is Ian O.
No. I was getting exclamations. I twisted.
Is it a full moon?
No. Let me get it out.
Carry on. You get it out. It's only radio.
Listen, there's only half a second to go. So you got in very cleverly with half a second on my birthday party starting now.
Madagascar is a great place.
Right. So Ian McMillan was speaking as the whistle went, gained that extra point. He's moving forward. He's still in fourth place, just behind Tony Hawks, who's a few behind Shappi Khorsandi. And Shappi is only 2 behind our present leader, Paul Merton. Still a very interesting competition, if you're interested in that. I agree, I'm more interested in the fun. Ian, it's your turn to begin. Will you take this subject now? Packing for the holidays. 60 seconds starting now.
When we were little, packing for the holidays was a great traumatic thing because of my dad's trilby. My mother would insist on putting my dad's titfoot in the case.
Shappi challenge.
My dad's.
3 miles, yes.
Three mice and several dads.
3 dads, they used to come every night. Monday night we had the Monday night dad, Tuesday night the Tuesday night dad, Wednesday night Uncle Frank.
No. We might let a couple of mice go, but 3, no. Shappi, well, listen, 53 seconds available. Packing for the holidays starting now.
I'm rubbish at packing for my holidays, especially since I've had a baby. I end up packing loads of stuff for the child. There.
Tony challenge.
You jinxed me.
Was there a slight hesitation?
It was a slurring of speech, which I didn't understand.
Well, I put it to you that that's a hesitation.
All right. We'll interpret that as hesitation. Benefit of the doubt, Tony. And 48 seconds on packing for the holidays starting now.
Holidays are very difficult to pack, and yet they still have package holidays. What a mystery that is.
Paul challenge.
What's he talking about?
I don't know.
Deviation from common sense. What's he talking
Yes.
about? Can't package holidays.
You've interpreted the word package in a different way from packing. This is packing your possessions, your clothes, for a holiday, not a package holiday.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. I've lost interest.
Well, no, I have to explain the reason for my decisions, otherwise I do get letters. And
I write those letters.
I know. I recognise the writing now.
Yeah, it's mine, yeah.
40 seconds, Paul, a correct challenge. Packing for the holidays starting now.
Well, what you do is you simply look for your underwear and you think, how long am I going away for? 5 days, and I shall get the appropriate number of underpants, which I reckon is between somewhere 4 and 6, and you put them into the suitcase, and with socks, trousers, shirts, that's all you need to do. A bit of shaving equipment, perhaps some foam, a razor.
Tony challenge.
I was going to say, not if you're a woman. But then you might do, actually, the shaving equipment
Yeah,
as
I'm not
well.
talking as a woman, I'm not talking as a mongoose in 17th century Romania.
Well, you
About where you
were.
go on holidays.
Paul, you had an incorrect challenge. You have 24 seconds. Packing for the holidays starting now.
Going to Butlins holiday camp when I was about 8 years old was tremendously exciting because you had to bring with you some football shorts and a pair of appropriate boots in order to run around on a field playing soccer with other children of the same age as you. It was a fantastic experience, and I remember opening...
Tony challenge.
I think he deviated there, because I thought, well, he wasn't really talking about packing for
football
holidays.
boots.
No, but he'd finished there. Then he
I
was
just- I
talking...
remember opening the suitcase and you buzzed on opening it.
Well, let's see what Nicholas thinks.
If you want to see what Nicholas thinks, press the red button now.
Tony, I always try to be fair, as you know, always, and give the correct decisions, but I had the impression that he packed all those things and he got them all out at
Okay.
Butlins and was running around with them.
I
He
like the
hadn't-
way you said, I always try to make correct decisions, but...
But not everybody will agree with them,
okay, fine.
because you all have your own interpretation. And packing for the holidays, still with you, Paul. 6 seconds to go, starting now.
Billie Holiday and her brother August Bank are terrible packers. So what I do is I go round and I do it all for them.
So Paul Merton was then speaking again as whistle went, has increased his lead at the end of that round. Let me give you the situation as we go into the final round. Ian McMillan, who's only played the game once before, is in a very strong 4th place. He's training Tony Hawks a little, who has played it, and Shappi, who's only played it once before. Shappi's in a powerful 2nd position behind our leader, Paul Merton. And Paul, it's your turn actually to begin. Here's a weird subject. Do what you can with it. Who knows where this may lead? Very poetic in a way. But will you talk on the subject if you can? 60 seconds, starting now.
Who knows where this may lead? Those were the last words I uttered, and now is the rest of my life. What will happen when I leave this venue? I will go to the hotel, myself and Nicholas will find a discreet corner, and in just a minute we'll come out of that particular recess and join the rest of the party back at the hotel.
Ian challenge.
2 hotels.
Yes, we're
2
still
hotels.
separate hotels.
Yes, Ian, well listened. Who knows where this may lead? You have 42 seconds, starting now.
Who Knows Where This May Lead was one of my dad's favourite songs, along with Donald Wears Your Trousers by Andy Stewart and Puppet on a String by Sandy Shaw.
Paul Challenge.
Repetition of By Andy
Oh,
Stewart.
by Andy Stewart, yes. Oh, well, listen, Paul Sharp there.
Person, anyway,
They were, yeah. Worked under the name for a while of Sandy Stewart.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was it Andy Shaw?
It was Andy Shaw, wasn't it?
Listen, you two, will you just stop chatting amongst yourselves? We're trying to play
You
just a
don't
minute.
understand, during the recording we've undergone a civil partnership.
Yes.
Oh, right. And
And
what?
we're adopting Shappi's baby.
Oh, are you? No, she
Oh,
got...
are you, Madonna?
Yeah. I've got
Just because my
breast.
baby's a little bit brown, you can't have him.
I said we should have mentioned it to her first. We should have done that. I did say she'd be funny, didn't I?
Yeah. Let's get back to just a minute.
Yeah.
28 seconds, Paul. We're still with you. Who knows where this may lead, starting now.
Who knows where this may lead? Tony Hawks may suddenly wake up from his party reverie. Imagine inviting all these people here to his wonderful birthday celebrations. Who knows where this may lead? It's a magnificent statement of optimism for the future. We're a proud country here in Britain. Let's march and take on the world. We can go into Japan and say, look, what am I talking about?
Paul! Paul!
I came over to Oswald Mosley.
You shouldn't have stopped. You had the whole of this audience with you. They're on their feet. They were about to follow you somewhere.
Exactly.
I don't know why you
can.
I don't know, it could be cheese. Let's start with cheese.
So Tony Hawks is a correct challenge.
What was the challenge?
What was the challenge?
Deviation.
Why?
Because he said...
Who
He
knows
said...
where this may lead? It led
No.
to me exhorting the audience to follow me to Japan.
He said...
That's where it led to.
He said, what am I talking about? And if he doesn't know what he's talking about...
We loved it, though, Paul.
Yeah, so did I.
A bonus point because we enjoyed Paul's tirade.
Next Wednesday's good for me. I don't know about this.
And Tony really had a correct challenge and for deviation, so he gets a point. He takes over the subject. 5 seconds to go. Who knows where this may lead, Tony? Starting now.
So far, everyone has begun this subject by saying, who knows where this may lead?
So who knows where this may lead? Let me give you the final situation. Ian McMillan, who contributed so much but did finish in 4th place, but a very fine 4th place. Tony Hawks, who's always done well, but he finished only in 3rd place because Shappi Khorsandi, who's only played the game once before, she finished in a fine 2nd place, and she was just behind Paul Merton, who this week, once again, is our winner. So it only remains me to say thank you to these 4 fine players and exponents of this game. I thank Trudy Stevens, who's helped me note a score down. She's blown her whistle with great aplomb throughout. We thank our producer, Talusha Galani. We're indebted to Ian Messiter, who created this unusual and amazing game. And we're grateful to this lovely audience, these massed ranks of Mancunians sitting in the Opera House in Manchester. Thank you for listening, and from the Mancunian audience and from me, Nicholas Parsons, and our team, goodbye. Tune in the next time we play Just a Minute. Yes!